Oh my gosh, what a day they're having. Can you imagine management right now at MSNBC? They're really not loving this right now. MSNBC is not having a very good day at it. You see, everybody saw this interview that Rachel Maddow had been billing as the big exclusive. It turns out it wasn't really exclusive, but you know what? We're gonna let that slide for just a moment. She had this big interview with Carroll. And you know Rachel. I mean, she's just one after another. I mean, the conspiracy theories that we had to sit through for 4 years every night. I used to watch her and think, my gosh, like, how is this woman allowed on TV? How can she present herself as a journalist? I think she gets that she's nothing more than an entertainer, and she rides that one all the way to the bank, quite literally. She makes a lot of money. But Rachel Maddow decided she was going to bring Carroll on because this is great. You know, this massive, more than $80 million verdict against the former president of the United States for defamation. And one would expect, dare I say, a little bit of class, maybe just sort of some thoughtful thing that she might have had prepared for when Rachel Maddow asked her this about, is there anything that she could do for women now that she had this massive settlement, which I think is going to get appealed anyway. And you're just not going to believe, I mean, it just makes your skin crawl. Makes your skin crawl. And Maddow, the journalist, doesn't even follow up. Watch this and weep.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours,
Nothing.
Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right, okay.
That's a joke.
It's the lawyer channel.
Although if me fishing in France could do something for women's rights, I would take the hit. You know, I would obviously take one for the team. All right, let me as if you need persuasion in that regard. Let me finish with a final question.
You see, she never went back. Like, the normal journalist thing to do would be like, okay, it's kind of funny, ha ha ha. Okay, no, but really, what are you going to do? Do you want to do anything to help women? No. She wants to buy Rachel a penthouse. Why? Because Rachel helped her score that deal? That's what people are going to say, okay? I'm sorry, but this tape is going to be played over and over and over and over again. And because of that moment, because of the superficiality of this woman, women that really do need to take men to court, they're the ones that are going to suffer. You may think it's all fun and games, Carroll and Rachel Maddow. But there are women out there that don't have the ability to line up the likes of Reid Hoffman, shall we say, who started LinkedIn, to fund their legal expeditions, which in many cases come from true necessity. I'm not saying anything about her case. You know what? I don't want to defame the woman. I don't need to. She defamed herself right there. That was pure awfulness. And the inability of the anchor woman, the journalist, whatever the heck you want to call Rachel Maddow, I would go with entertainer extraordinaire. She's a good entertainer, all right? You know, she kept you bit by bit tuning in, not me, and probably not you, but people on the left, bit by bit during that whole dossier thing, right? And then she was just spitting out lies one after another and weaving together this fabulous story, the entertainer that she is. Does she actually want to do anything to help women? Oh, she said she'd go to France. She'd go to France and fish if it helps women. I mean, that was just disgusting. The lawyer had to come in and say, you know what? This is a joke. She's joking. Whatever. You know, Carroll and Rachel Maddow, you guys like single-handedly gave Trump exactly the ammunition that he needed. Because a lot of women are going to look at that now and say, oh, she wasn't in it for me. She was in it for her. And there were people that put her up to it. There were champions like Reid Hoffman and Rachel Maddow, because apparently Rachel gets anything she wants. I mean, I'm just blown away. But you know, Rachel, I'm telling you, this woman is actually, they all thought Tucker was dangerous, or Lou, or heck, me, right? Little me. No. This woman actually weaves together narratives that are so preposterous and literally like actually digs herself in a hole from which she cannot get out, refuting her own points. I mean, doesn't she have like a law degree or something? I would think that she would know better to this. I want you to watch these clips. The first one is her telling us, you know what? We can't have Trump win, because if we do, there will be no left. There will be no other party. He will get rid of politics forever. He will be an autocrat, a dictator, whatever. Let's take it away. Rachel Maddow at her best, but it gets worse.
What he's offering is what he both sort of inherently offers and now more and more explicitly offers, which is, if you pick me, that'll be the end of politics. And you won't have to deal with politics anymore. You won't have to deal with contested elections. You won't have to deal with contests or divisions when it comes to power. You'll have a strongman leader and I'll just do what I want. And won't that be a lot simpler? That's what he's offering. That strongman model is what the Republican base is enthused about. And that is something that sets him apart from every other Republican candidate. And I think that we're naive to think that he's tricking people into picking him and then surprise, he's going to act like a dictator. What he's offering is strongman leadership, the end of politics, the end of elections, the end or the sidelining or domesticating, as Ruth Ben-Ghiat says, of the judiciary and the Congress. He'll be the man in charge and he'll get it done. And that's what he's selling. And that's what they are very eager to buy.
Okay, so she's totally losing it. This is like another meltdown of hers. She's convinced. I don't think she's actually really convinced. This is why I get back to the entertainer thing. She's convinced somehow she wants to convince you that he's going to be a dictator, right? That's the selling point. That's the only place they keep going back to over and over again. And so you heard that rant. Well, it went on. And you need to listen to this part, because you heard her just say, did you not, that Trump is going to destroy politics, that you won't get to pick sides anymore because her side, right, is going to just be annihilated. And it's just going to be his way. Well, then she goes on to say, you know what? They've tried this in Germany. Well, let's let her say, I can't do it justice. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't possibly do her justice. This needs to be said by none other than Rachel Maddow herself. Here we go.
In the post-war years, 1952, they banned parties that wanted to use the democratic process to come back in and dismantle democracy. They haven't done it since then, but they're ready to do it now with this iteration of the far right. And we're obviously considering that with potential insurrectionist being back on the ballot in multiple states.
You see, she said, and we are obviously considering that with potential insurrectionists being back on the ballot. She's referring to him, and she says, we're considering wiping out a party. 75 million people, all those MAGA Republicans, they voted for Trump. They got to be wiped out. They don't have a right to think what they think. I mean, come on. Isn't that what she just warned us that Donald Trump was going to do? And now she's hoping, praying that Colorado and Maine are somehow going to come through for her. I think it's already disintegrating right before our very eyes, certainly in the state of Maine. This is so highly irresponsible. But what can you expect? What can you expect from a party who has a former president who literally called the then sitting president, President Donald Trump, illegitimate, and told the world he was illegitimate because he's put in place by the Russians? I mean, this is wacky stuff. He was listening to Rachel a bit too much. Jimmy Carter, take it away.
There's no doubt that the Russians did interfere in the election, and I think the interference, although not yet quantified, if fully investigated, would show that Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered on his behalf.
So do you believe President Trump is an illegitimate president?
Based on what I just said, which I can't retract, I would say yes.
They laugh. It's funny. It's funny. Like we're gonna make wild accusations like that. Hey, why not? We listen to Rachel every night. She's saying it. Why can't I say it? I'm Jimmy Carter, former president of the United States, and I'm gonna double down on this theory. I mean, that is dangerous. Everyone, that is dangerous. And then that became the narrative. And I mean, the whole not my president thing, Maxine Waters, the rest of them, not my president, Hillary Clinton floating what Jimmy Carter was floating, Rachel Maddow doing her part. MSNBC has a big problem on its hands. I think she only does a show like once a week now, thank goodness. But that little episode that she was so excited about, having Carroll on for the big exclusive, that is going to cost the Democrats, because women will look at that and they're going to say, wow, you are what you are. You just are what you are. Cheers to you. My gosh.